The Devil is Not to Blame, Forgottten Sly Men. A novel written by H. Karl HEISS. Chapter 4, The Logos. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, lest you also be like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. Book of Proverbs 26, 4v. There is always a beginning unless you think otherwise, and that will be your own concern. At the beginning, there was the thought. It was given the shape through the logos. In order to avoid the logos being lost forever, it was put in a book form. Not all books are the same. No two books have the equal value. It is even the very reason why there are too much books. Each book said to be the most thrilling, the most innovative, or rather the most ingenious, if not the holiest. Beyond any other consideration, it is a living book. And this particular book is said to be alive. This makes it particularly interesting and dreadful. It is probably the Book of God, the Holy Book of God. God wrote it. The Book of God is full of mysteries like God Himself. God is with no doubt YHWH, not Zeus. If the name of Zeus carries a great might, the former four-letter word does not remain less a chilling great mystery. Life is full of mysteries. Some mysteries are deep. How things happen is a mystery, till one understands their occurrences. To try to understand is wisdom, to stay in one's ignorance is foolishness. Ignorance is not good. But deliberate ignorance is a sin, a mortal sin. It is an insult to God's benevolence. To be complacent in ignorance is to blaspheme towards God's majesty. And this investigative look and excavation of facts in the history of the Book of God is not a fiction. For the numerous minds still benighted by superstition coupled with crude ignorance, such endeavor is but simply an irreverent attempt, a deed of a ghostly companion who attacks the majesty of YHWH. This can on no account be taken as the gospel truth. For the superficial and the impoverished or fictional minds, all unwilling to use their brains, are only too ready to do that. This story, a fiction, is by no means entirely part of the affirmative reality. I do sincerely think that to talk about fictional mind is a short caricature of the battle about to shake the antagonistic groups, the wise and the others. The issue at stake is not so much about fiction or reality, it is about the truth. It is the favorable time to answer the diligent call to dig beyond our ideological frameworks, to jump into a new way. This is the favorable time to make an appointment with the truth, or to back another horse, the white horse of wisdom and fun. To come to know simply that God is all fun, love and fun-loving. God is even funny. So much so that any claim of being of God requires from the fellow to really worship YHWH in love and in fun-loving. People who experienced and are feeling the fun of God are legion. Some He brought in front of a burning bush, prior to which He made them pass through the Red Sea divided, and others He sent His angel Gabriel to express His divine will. You shall bear my son, his name will be Jesus, which means YHWH saves. For through him many will be saved. A failure to believe in a fun-loving God or to act differently is tantamount to blank ignorance of the true God. It is an act of ungodliness. The lack of intimacy with God leads to an outraged attitude over insignificant issues. Such behavior is more often than not characterized by scruples on trifling religious matters, if not simply blocking over every matter pertaining to common sense. Any lack of sense of fun and fun-loving is a clear sign of want in intimacy with God. God, who is love, wants His children completely free, unencumbered. Freedom is the glaring characteristic of the children of God, His most excellent gift to the world. To deny freedom to people made in the image and likeness of God is to oppose God. Only arrogant fools like the notorious Nimrod, the hunter, dare to oppose God with a resulting disastrous effect. No other conduct is more ungodly than this kind of act of opposition displayed towards YHWH. Staying in ignorance is the beginning of ungodliness. Not other people, but ungodliness is HELL. What is the worst ignorance? To ignore that God is fun and love. And certainly God loves fun more than anyone else. The first fact, God created funny people. If you disagree, which is already pretty funny, then you are the great Don of the morons. The story that follows portrays ardently the imaginative and creative spirit given to the children of God for His glory. The gift of God is to enlighten and to give fun to His dear people. The worst thing that could possibly happen is the outright rejection of this very story-like account. The fanatics will put forward the fallacious pretense of it being outrageous, and that it is an offense to the believers. Which believers? To make matters worse, they put it forward that God is disrespected and spiritually abused in His state of majesty. Such a view can't but be seen only as a slanderous campaign against an innocent artistic activity of the mind. God is not and can by no means be outraged by the play of His children. What outrages God is the lack of freedom of His children, the misery and the slavery of people He willed in freedom to subdue the earth, to be creative and happy. A father is never outraged by the fun of his children. A father is happy when his children are happy, and God is more than a father. Therefore, please worst critics, find any other hideous scaffold to hang yourselves if you so find a convenient option.